folks, today we're going to be taking a look at Gauntlet 7 Sorrows on PS2. So, let's check it out. Released in December of 2005, Gauntlet 7 Sorrow on PS2 was the follow-up to Gauntlet Legends released for various other systems, such as the PlayStation N64 and the Dreamcast, and Gauntlet Dark Legacy, also released for the PS2. Honestly, I had low expectations for this game the first time I played it, despite being extremely excited for the story. But even with low expectations, I was still a little disappointed. Not as much as a lot of people were, though. I mean, I saw reviews online of people giving the game like a 2 out of 10 and stuff like that. Anyway, the story begins with a king talking about what has happened. The 4 immortal heroes used to serve the king, but the king and his advisors attempt to take the heroes' immortality away from them by crucifying them on the great tree at the bottom of the world. This was the king's first sorrow, and it was the only one he could undo himself. The other 6 sorrows are the king's advisors, who have turned into horrible monsters. Now, it's up to the player, or players, since you can beat the game with a friend with the multiplayer feature, to stop the advisors from ruling the land. Honestly, I thought it was a really neat concept the first time I read about it, but I was let down because in the final product, it's so watered down that it's not even that enjoyable. So don't have your expectations too high about the story, regardless of how good it sounds. Obviously, there's 4 characters to choose from. You have the wizard, the elf, the warrior, and the Valkyrie, a good group of characters. The controls are a little different than a normal Gauntlet game. It's more focused on melee combat and projectiles. Basically, the idea is to kill everyone and everything in sight. I like that they didn't include some useless combo like in the other games, so the melee system is well implemented into the game. There are 6 acts in the story. Each of them usually include 3 stages with a boss fight at the end of the 3rd stage for each act. The first act was designed to be very easy, almost to be used as like a training part. Not bad, but nothing special. My least favorite act is the second one, which takes place in an underwater city. I mean, it's just boring to me. They could have made the setting way better than this, but that's just my opinion. The rest of the worlds are okay, but that's one of the problems with this game. It's just okay, and that's being extremely generous, seeing that there's a lot of people out there that hate this game's existence. It's definitely a unique game, but I don't know how to explain why people hate it so much, because I don't feel that way. I mean, because it's not that bad. It's okay, but I mean, you just have to play it for yourself. If you're a Gauntlet fan and you haven't played this game yet, then you probably get the general idea of what I'm talking about. And again, if you're a Gauntlet fan, then this one may not appeal to you, except maybe the idea. Anyway, it's a really easy game to get into. In total, it took me about 4 hours to beat this game, which to be honest is a little short, but whatever. I mean, a lot of games back on the NES you could beat in like 2 hours or less if you had it all down pat, because those games were hard as balls, so it usually took hours and hours to get the patterns down and all that. But anyway, let's get back on track. The graphics are nice and clean. The background and everything is full of detail, and it's really nice. The final boss, called the Master of the Cauldron, looks wicked sick. If you know me, you know I'm really not a huge fan of CG in movies, but in video games, it's awesome. This boss is probably one of the most difficult parts of the game, but if I compare it to most other games that I've played, then it's nothing too major at all. So once you beat this fucking asshole, he sinks back into his lava pit, and then you beat the game. It looks pretty cool. I played this game through on my own, and I've also beaten this game numerous amount of times with a friend. And it seems to get worse each time I play it, so it doesn't go well with repeated playthroughs. The music is alright, but sometimes it gets a little bit annoying to listen to. Overall, it's really not that good of a game, especially when you compare it to other Gauntlet games. I'll give it a 6 out of 10 because it does have potential, but the whole time I was playing through, I just kept wishing I was playing something else, so only check it out if you're curious. So, that's it. So I'm Twisted Nick, and I'll see you later.